All right.
Man,
we're back.
I missed that song.
We don't have any equipment here.
We don't have a mic either. Not.
My throat's not working. All right, we're doing this on the phone. Christmas greeting.
Yeah. Merry Christmas if you're into that sort of thing.
Happy holidays if you're not.
Yeah. We're just sitting here a couple days before Christmas, or a day before Christmas. A couple days before Christmas.
23rd.
And we decided to do a quick little episode for just to kind of whet your appetite for what we have coming up next.
Yeah.
We couldn't get together
Break up the break a little bit.
Due to stuff that came up to do a full episode, but that just means that the next one is gonna be that much better.
Yeah.
The next full one.
Yeah, apologies. We're recording this on a phone right now if you're listening or if you're watching.
Yeah.
It's a telephone. Hopefully nobody calls us.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. Well. We gotta. I mean, it's not like there's been much going on in the world of F1 anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of everybody's on Christmas break.
Yeah.
But
Bernie Ecclestone out there cutting cakes with his face on it. Did you at one point Petra Ecclestone, she has a big mansion, and she actually, when she was doing like remodeling in Kensington, London, one of the most expensive areas.
Yeah.
She basically changed the facade to look like Bernie's Swiss chalet, like in Switzerland, and like did like a whole winterscape or whatever to like celebrate his birthday or what. Yeah, I know.
In downtown London.
In London. With, like fake snow
For
or
his
whatever.
birthday?
Yeah.
He came home and he's like, "What the fuck did you do to my house?" Oh my god.
Going to Bernie's chalet, or no, chalet Bernie. But anyway, yeah, with the snowy Christmas spirit in mind, I want to throw one thing out there. When I was looking for pictures just now to put on the little thumbnail, I saw a couple of pictures of, like, I guess they have actually done tests, or at least like just showings of F1 cars in the snow.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about
that was
this.
the first I saw it.
Now, like, why isn't there like a Grand Prix? I mean, I guess World Rally does this already, where they do like.
Yeah, WRC does for sure rounds in full snow.
But how cool would it be? And like, and I think like I wanna keep into like a few wishes that we have, that you and I have, a few Christmas wishes for F1, for the future of F1. Make that the overall theme of this little episode. So one of my outrageous wishes would definitely be, let's bring back the Swedish Grand Prix, not in the summer, let's do it in the winter.
Your TV wallpaper saver right now is actually showing a snowy road.
Yeah, that would be it.
But yeah, I'm sure Pirelli could and would love the challenge of building some snow tires, build a snow set of tires, and plow the track, obviously. What else do you need? Like, drivers are already sitting in 50 and 60 degrees Celsius temperatures in the cockpit, so you know that there's enough heat that they're not going to be getting frostbite or anything like that. Or you just extend their windshield an extra inch or two, you know, and get the...
Or you know how they want more money out of the Belgian Grand Prix?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like how the Bernie is threatening to remove them off the calendar?
Yeah.
Do it in the winter. Look it up if you haven't done so. Spa-Francorchamps in the winter, or Spa-Francorchamps in snow, it's gorgeous. It just looks amazing. And didn't Martin Brundle like driving it on like when it was just mad icy with that guy, when he said that like you should drive with
the gas pedal. Yeah, you steer with the gas pedal.
Yeah, you steer with the gas pedal
on ice. Yeah, he did.
So that's one of my Christmas wishes for F1 in the future. Screw everything else. Just do a snow race. See how they do. See how they fare. Pirelli.
My Christmas wish, my first one at least, is that Paul Hembry at least get a chance to bring in this Triple Cup Grand Prix idea, at least present it and let it be debated at least.
Listen to him. Yeah.
Yeah. At least let all the teams sit down and debate it.
Is it one of the things that the teams are against it, because such a long season, or like a different season like that, would imply having different crews, right? Like different race crews throughout the year, because people would get tired or whatever. Whatever, just do it. I mean, because if you do it like that, I'm sure audience figures will go up. like just have like your different national cups and like having 3 different finals throughout the year.
Yeah, and an ultimate final.
Yeah,
you're working towards. There's still a season-long championship, and you have chance to conquer Europe, which a lot of people love the European leg. Have it all together, close. Everyone, no one's fatigued. Nobody's going through more than 2 time zones.
Yeah.
Same with Asia. You go there, you get to Asia a week early. You get acclimatized. Like some guys arrive the week before the race and hang out in the city and do their work there. Just to get, like certain places, the altitude, the temperature, like has an effect on your body.
Listen, I'm sure. You know how like right now the Canadian Grand Prix basically breaks the European season.
Right.
They gotta go to Monaco, then Canada, then back.
That's one of the criticisms of the season.
Yeah, dude, stop doing that. It makes more TV sense. It makes more like logistical sense in terms of moving equipment around. I think definitely we're gonna repeat this. Paul Hembry is onto something.
Yeah, there's been talk of at least the New Jersey Grand Prix. We looked at that fairly recently. Paul Hembry and Ecclestone have both said that there needs to be a race in California. There's already one in Canada. There's already one in Austin. There's one in Mexico now. Got one in Brazil. There's at least that. There's been a little bit of peripheral talk about going to Argentina.
Right? Yeah.
The cups don't have to be the same size, so you know what I mean? Like, the North American Cup could be like a month or 2 long and holds 4 or 5 races.
Winning each cup can like have different value as in to accumulate towards the ultimate cup. So let's say an Asian Cup could be worth less than the European Cup. And not that Asians are worth less, but it has less races or whatever.
In North America right now there's 4 races, so it'd be the smallest one. There's I think more in
the
Asia.
Americas. Not North America, in the Americas.
The Americas, the Americas. The Asian Cup, what would that be? Let's count. Australia, China, Singapore, Japan.
So another 4.
There's 4.
Am I missing one? I mean, Russia's Europe.
Yeah, Russia could go either way. Baku could go either way. Yeah. But they're labeled the European. they could. Okay. They is it's a transient word in that context. They could, but they will not.
Yeah.
I guess that's it, right?
Yeah.
Not Malaysia. So there's 5. There's that 5 there, and then about 10 in Europe, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, for a lot of reasons, that would be the most prestigious anyway.
The European one.
The European one. For historic reasons, for the amount of races, where most of the drivers come from there, most of the teams are located
all
there.
the teams are based in Europe.
Most of the people watching are there, right? Yeah. Except for Haas.
Even though there's an increasing audience coming from Asia, which we're all happy about, actually, because the more people that watch F1, the better.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And there's also a small chance. There's being talk. Vijay Mallya is pushing for India to come back. Sorry, Bahrain, I guess, could be in the Asian Cup.
Could they? Bahrain.
Well, there's no Middle Eastern Cup, right? Unless you go 4, you could do the Middle Eastern Cup. There's Bahrain, Abu Dhabi, yeah. Qatar wants to hold a race in Doha. India could
if
be
it comes back,
Asia or the Middle East, right?
I kind of want like India to come back. I like the idea of India, because there's so much. There definitely is an untapped potential there.
Yeah, I don't know, the Redditors, I had a debate with 2 or 3 guys, I think one of them was from India, on Reddit the other day, the Vijay Mallya thread, if anyone saw that. The FOF Dan was me, but I want to talk about, let's save that for after the break though.
Cool.
We want to keep this episode kind of short today, but that's my Christmas wish.
You know who had?
I know it's a huge wish, but I want it.
You know who has a crazy Christmas?
Much this Christmas.
You know who's asking for a lot this Christmas?
Bernie.
Jules Bianchi's family.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, it may be too soon, and a lot of people are still like hurting about Jules Bianchi. But I think that this is a weak move. I mean,
the quote from his father was that his family has nothing to lose at this point. And then the reporter from the article, I don't know the specific article, but the reporter of the article I read asked the father, well, like, what is the basis of your claim? Like, who who are you going after? And he said something like there was some kind of conflict of interest of the people that investigated the accident at the time are the people who's being investigated for his death, which it doesn't make a lot of sense. And he said also that he's leaving it up to his lawyers. He said that's the job of my lawyers. So I don't know if he's his
lawyers are getting a cut.
Yeah, that's usually how these big cases work. They work. A lot of times you'll pick up a case like that, like a new lawyer pro bono, and then or you work for a percentage, depending on the results of the case.
Oh, they probably like started getting like calls from like big law firms in France, like being like, yo, you gotta sue them. Let me be your lawyer. I gotta sue them.
Yeah, like I really do understand his dad's pain, but his death, obviously not good, but it pushed the forward safety, like
with the virtual safety car. It didn't work this year.
Yeah, the safety car, they have no cranes on the track anymore.
We were kind of iffy about it at the beginning of the year, how it was going to work. Remember
the virtual safety car?
We were asking Toby, remember? Like we had a conversation. Like,
I think it should be used more, though. It wasn't used enough. It's been approved for next year to be used in practice and qualifying sessions.
I think they even want to bring it to other
motorsports as well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which it should be, and I think even in F1 they should use it more. Right?
Yeah.
The traditional safety car really changes the grid. Like it bunches everyone back up. At least they don't wait like 8 laps sometimes for people to unlap themselves twice or whatever.
The Brundle rule.
Yeah,
Brundle was pushing hard.
But yeah, as far as also like there's no more heavy machinery on the track inside the walls anywhere anymore. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the Senna effect when he died. Safety was overhauled big time, and again, to use what technology we have and pushed out a solution. But
and it's getting better every time. But always, like the scope of these rules, like it is a tough job, obviously, to be part of the FIA and to regulate. But we must never forget that all the new rules that are introduced should definitely keep the fan in mind. You shouldn't sacrifice the show, the value of the show. Now that we've decided, as apparently Christian Horner has, that F1 is entertainment. India may not agree with it anymore.
They may not.
That's the crux of the argument, right? Like the Indian Grand Prix may come back because they're not. F1 is sport now, as is yoga or something.
As is yoga. F1 was. I'll briefly summarize this, but we'll get into it when we come back after the new year next week. But basically, India was wanting the government something like a 15 to 20% tax on the event because it was considered entertainment, as well as the government needed and the Formula One group stipulated that the JP group, who owns the circuit, the Bud circuit,
the promoters,
who owned the Bud circuit, would have to pay somewhere close to $100 million in customs for all the F1 to cover all of the equipment brought in by all the F1 teams, because they bring in a pile of shipping containers for signage, all the vehicles, all the personnel, food, entertainment, everything, TV equipment that you can buy, everything that comes into the country.
The stuff that you see on the screen doesn't even begin to cover it. There's like hundreds of people, hundreds that you don't even see or even hear about. Like you gotta think that
the production trucks we saw on Ted's notebook a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But let's keep it brief. The government wants something close to $100 million in custom duty. That's obviously a round number, but something around that, which 98% of is to be returned once the equipment is out of the country. So it's kind of a deposit, and the government keeps 2%.
Unless they choose to say something about it.
No, but the point is that the JP group, to secure $100 million for a few days is not easy.
No.
And Bernie refused to help them out, and even though they're a huge corporation, they have a lot of debt. They're getting into trouble now, but we'll get deeper into it. But anyways, it is considered sport, but unfortunately it's considered sport in India under the other category, which is not eligible still for any type of government funding. But yeah, well, there's a lot more detail to go into about, I don't know, the JP Group, what city the circuit was built in, motorsport in India.
We're gonna get deep in that in the coming weeks.
We'll get back to that. Something Christmas related. I get off the top. If you look at the thumbnail, we get a picture of the old movie. What's it called?
Gremlins?
No, Grand Prix.
Grand Prix.
The Grand Prix movie, and the black and white movie from way back in the day. I've never seen the Gremlins movie before. I have kind of no excuse because I'm almost 30 years old, and it came out around when I was born. But I vaguely remember like my dad watching that when I was a kid and turned it off. But I watched about half an hour of it the other day.
Yeah.
I didn't realize because the reason I put it on was because I realized, it's a Christmas movie. Cool, I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas movie if you didn't know. And Steven Spielberg directed it. I didn't
Really?
Know, I didn't know that either.
What?
The Spielberg movie. There's a scene of the gremlin watching the Grand Prix movie, and then it shows his face, and he's like, like he's pretending like he's learning to drive a car. Unfortunately, we don't have microphones, editing equipment, or a soundboard here. So on the next show, I'll play the clip of it. But
our mics are owned by Mike. Anyway, so
Mike's doing family stuff for Christmas. I'm sure everyone can understand.
Oh hey Mike, if you're watching.
What's up, Mike? Mike's family, Merry Christmas. Good luck in the tournament.
Actually, like if you guys are having a bit of an F1 lull and want to check out, want to fill your F1 crave, I actually do recommend that. I've actually watched the Grand Prix movie. It's just called Grand Prix, and it's from 1960 something.
It's gotta be before that because it's black and white.
No, it's not black and white. It's not. It's just shitty footage, but it's
scenes. Oh, are you talking about Le Mans?
No, I'm not talking about Le Mans. I'm talking about Grand Prix. Grand Prix.
So maybe the movie in Gremlins wasn't Grand Prix then.
It was.
Black and white.
The car was blue.
It was in black and white.
No, it wasn't.
What?
Yeah, just.
Okay.
We'll go back to it.
I believe it. Okay. Yeah,
no, but Grand Prix is a good movie, and like it basically just goes like it tells the story of a Grand Prix driver, and it circles around the Monaco Grand Prix, like a big chunk of it, not all of it, but a big chunk of it is around the Monaco Grand Prix, and throughout this story, like it's just it has a feel of like trying to explore how those drivers back then had to deal with like many deaths, the many deaths that happened.
A lot of buddies dying.
Yeah, but really, really cool. One of the scenes of that movie, it basically just shows like all the drivers like hanging out and like chilling and drinking whatever before the Grand Prix. And in that scene, there's actual like legends of the sport did a few cameos. Graham Hill.
I can imagine him. Yeah. He was like the Monaco playboy back in the day.
Yeah, and the first grade of F1, Juan Manuel Fangio, is there. So it's really cool. Like if you're like into that kind of stuff. Le Mans, I've heard, is amazing.
Yeah, actually, somewhere on I forget what podcast I was listening to, but someone recommended it, and I was like, man, I've been thinking about that for a while. I know it's a badass movie.
Yeah,
well, it's one of those like 3.5 hour type old stuff movies. And so movies were a different thing.
Grand Prix is like 2 and a bit hours, but
yeah,
if you know what, if you're into F1 enough, you'll like it. Keeping in like the alternative F1 stuff, like another wish that I have is so I read that I saw that DC. Our very own David Coulthard is gonna be maybe a presenter or in some way or another involved with Top Gear.
Oh, Top Gear!
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say
no, the new Top Gear.
The new Top Gear.
Yeah. So he's gonna be involved with the new Top Gear. Like this is obviously a rumor, but
Amazon
at this point, no, not.
Oh, the BBC Top Gear.
BBC's Top Gear. Like yeah. Together with like that chick that you remember that chick that they had a couple times, Sabine Schmidt. She's the one that like did the Nürburgring taxi where she drove like people around the Nürburgring. Like she's a serious racing driver, or like she's good. So they might be involved with the new Top Gear. Now my Christmas wish when it comes to that is if now we have F1 personalities such as maybe Jensen Button at one point was rumored, David Coulthard going to Top Gear, why don't expanding on the idea that we said that maybe Amazon could get into could buy a bit of F1, why don't we have Clarkson, Hamlin, and May host some of the Grand Prix and do some of the presenting? That's like, so yeah, if F1 personalities are going to old BBC Top Gear, have Clarkson, Hamlin, and May. Amazon, get in on this. This is, I'm telling you, my $100 million idea. Go and get Clarkson to present and host one of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, man. If Amazon could get in on something like it's like F1 or some of the other, if they moved, I think a single sport is hard though. They'd have to move into multiple sports, most likely like soccer or cricket or something like that.
But if
they'd have to have a sports arm, right? You know what? Amazon, Netflix, some of these companies that are set up to distribute the way that we're used to stuff being distributed to us.
Listen, the more I think about it, the more I think it makes sense for somebody like Amazon to get into something like F1, because Amazon right now really wants to develop drone technology, right?
Yeah, big time.
And what better
That's
avenue?
all they're on about.
Right, yeah. So what better avenue to exploit drone technology than to have the coverage?
The cameraman,
the coverage of F1 done entirely by drones. Just start doing it and start learning.
There's quadcopters now that can reach somewhere close to 100 kilometers an hour. And there's no reason you couldn't use a mini plane version of a drone, right?
Yeah.
Check on YouTube. Anyone that's into drones and stuff, there's all kinds of jets and...
Great Christmas gifts too. Like I saw at Shoppers Drug Mart, the pharmacy chain in Canada, they sell like good $40 drones now. You can control from your phone.
It's not controlled by your phone, but you know that mini helicopter. Oh, sorry, not that one is. But like you know that mini helicopter I have.
Yeah.
That was like the same thing, like $30-40 from Walmart. Just before the phone integration. But yeah, I got one from my brother last year too. It's badass. Like you fly it around your living room. Like it can go probably like 15 kilometers an hour, swoop up and down, goes up, down, left, right. There's no camera on it.
No, but in these new ones, man, you can get it at the Shoppers Drug Mart while you're waiting in line.
Yeah,
and
that's like for Americans, that's like our CVS or Rite Aid or whatever.
What do they have there in the States? Walgreens?
Walgreens, CVS is the big one. Walgreens is in Britain too, or probably Australia.
Yeah, maybe.
In Oz, whatever, your local drugstore. Yeah, that technology is there. Related, it's kind of interesting. Very related. BBC, under their new cost cutting, obviously they're gonna bring back and revive Top Gear, but they elected.
Well, Top Gear was like their big cash cow.
Their big show, right?
Yeah.
But another part of their major cost cutting, I guess, because it's a government entity, they mandated some major cost cutting. They dropped or declined to bid to renew the contract. I think it's the latter.
Everybody did not rejoice.
Yeah, their contract to show the F1 races. And we talked about last week and the week before that viewership was down in Britain and Germany, especially the two big F1 countries. Yeah. Mostly over the last 3 races because Lewis had secured it close before the end.
Yeah.
But the BBC has dropped it. David Coulthard was one of the presenters there, the race commentator.
Yes.
As well as Eddie Jordan and what's the other guy? There's the woman too.
Whatever her face was.
I can't remember her name. But anyways, so there's some news that it's quite possible that... So Channel 4, which is another British channel, not government owned, has taken over the contract for Formula 1, has promised commercial-free coverage of the race.
Commercial-free?
Commercial-free coverage of the race.
That's huge.
The race proper. So I'm sure their pre-show and post-show is going to be jam-packed as well as qualifying. But the race itself, commercial-free.
Wicked.
There's a chance that Coulthard could be going over there, possibly with Eddie Jordan or possibly with Jake Humphries.
Jake Humphries, who was free of his football or soccer endeavors. Because that was the thing. He left BBC to do football on BT, which is another British channel.
Yeah,
BT sacked him.
BT Sport is another becoming a big world sport channel because now they carry
don't they do the fighting?
Yeah, they carry the UFC pay-per-views in Europe. But anyways, Channel 4 in August, we missed this story then. they built a 25 million pound growth fund for their channel. I love BBC, and even I'm half English. My mom was born there, but I watch a lot of documentaries and stuff. Both channels are really good. They have a lot of good shows, and Channel 4
BBC is great.
And so is Channel 4.
Black
Mirror came from Channel 4.
Actually, aside from F1, check out Black Mirror if you like. Yeah.
Out Black
Mirror.
The first 2 seasons, Christmas special, and Netflix just picked up Black Mirror off Channel 4 for another dozen episodes.
Freaking show.
It's a fucking good show.
Yeah.
And Channel 4 as well does a lot of good documentaries on the level of like Horizon and stuff like that.
The some of the Niall Ferguson documentaries are Channel 4. Anyway, but
yeah, Ferguson. Yeah. But anyways, back in August, there's a company owned together in partnership with David Coulthard and Jake Humphries called Whisper Films.
Okay.
And Channel 4 bought a 25% stake in their company.
So they're for sure there.
And Whisper Films makes a lot of sporting related films and mini documentaries. They made one in the past year or two, something, I looked on their site, something for Red Bull, something for Shell Oil. They made a mini documentary about Lewis Hamilton's brother, about Nick Hamilton, and
because he has some sort of disability or something, right?
Yeah, he has cerebral palsy, but the documentary is not about that. It's just about racing in the lower categories and being the brother of a champion and his racing endeavors. But anyways, they made a bunch of racing and sports related documentaries. So Coulthard and Humphries are deep into that. Now their company is part owned by Channel 4, and Coulthard was a BBC F1 presenter, and Channel 4 now has 10 races a year of F1.
So they're the ones doing the 10 races, right. Like BBC was.
Because BBC had the 10, they lost half of them.
In Britain, like, there's still, like, they may not be government channels, but
you can still watch all the races.
Free to air.
Yeah, you can still watch all the races, but 10 of them are free to air, right?
Free to air,
exactly. The same thing with the loss of viewers in the in Germany was on the free to air channel.
Right.
So people I don't know, with Sky, a lot of people prefer the Sky coverage.
Right.
So the numbers are definitely skewed, probably for the purpose of securing rights and stuff. But Sky does also coverage in Germany big time.
Yes, they do.
It's possible that a lot of people move there. All those numbers we talked a week or two about was related to the free to air channels.
Right.
We have, I don't know, big news for Europe anyways. F1 coverage isn't gone. It's revitalized.
That's good. I mean, there's a huge
I think
market
it's in
there.
good hands under Channel 4.
They're still not doing it. They're never ever gonna do enough for like the new demand. Like the cord cutters are not gonna be satisfied. I'm not gonna pay for and when we're not British, so but I may download the Channel 4 coverage right here and there.
I'll check out a couple. See what they're doing.
I wonder what TSN is gonna do. Because they did the BBC, so I wonder if that comes. If the other coverage,
who knows?
We will wait and see.
Yeah, they're basically rebroadcasting, so hopefully they'll make a new deal. Otherwise, for Americans, at least in the U.S., they have NBC, which their viewership is up big time this year.
Well, because F1 is a sweet sport.
Yeah, it's badass. It's in America, even though Circuit of the Americas is in trouble and might not even happen this coming year. It might not even happen in 2016.
That's a Christmas wish for me. I hope that the U.S. Grand Prix still remains. Because we have an opportunity to go.
Yes, Americans, Estonians, Texans, we might be there. If the race happens, there's a good chance we will be there.
Yeah.
In person, on that big corner,
nice.
Top of the hill.
What else you got? I think we wanted to keep this in and around 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's more or less it. A one sentence news item, not important. Women in F1, it hasn't gone too well this year with Susie Wolf retired, Carmen Yorda, whatever. She quit Lotus this past week. Like she quit. She said, "I'm out."
Oh, you know who else quit? Sorry, I mean, go on. Sorry.
No, that was it. That was the one sentence.
Oh, okay.
Single sentence, finished.
You know who else quit?
Who?
Jessica Michibata.
Who's Jessica Michibata?
That is Jensen Button's wife.
Jensen Button's wife?
They split. They're split. Yeah.
Is he gonna come back with another pink helmet?
Maybe.
Damn.
They somehow. So
he's getting divorced already?
I hate going into this like.
Did you get that from the mirror.co.uk?
It's this mirror articles. But apparently it's Jensen Button's agent was reached for comments, and it is official. They are split up, and the one point is that they didn't have a prenup. So if they do divorce, let's have Jensen's money there. Anyway.
At least he's getting paid less than Alonso. Like a tenth of Alonso. Another two-sentence news story this week is also it's kind of upsetting as well about Michael Schumacher.
Oh.
There's been some sort of, again, mirror.co.uk, Mirror UK tabloid type articles about Schumacher that has been walking around in the last week or so.
Whoa.
Yeah, but it's not true. So the family had to get their lawyer because the family. I understand it doesn't make any sense. They want privacy. Their dad, their uncle, their wife, whatever, been in a coma for 2 years. They don't have to talk about that with the news. Like, obviously everyone loves Michael Schumacher. He's a world hero, but if you're making up stories like that, or if you're like hopping the fence at his house and trying to take pictures of.
Rolling.
All right, sorry everybody. Approximately 3 minutes have elapsed since the video just jumped or the sound jumped. We're recording this on a phone, so I think we reached the 4 gig limit of the FAT32 file system.
Whatever that means.
Well, we're just about done here anyways. I forget what I was saying. Where did we end off there?
Gossip, really.
Yeah, a bunch of gossip. What's his name's wife quit the marriage.
Michibata, and then people like sneaking into
Schumacher's house. So anyways, the family basically called their lawyer and got the lawyer to make a statement to the media saying like, come on, this is ridiculous. Like, this guy's been in a big accident. The family doesn't want to talk about it. Just we know everyone's a big fan, but there's nothing that can be done. You got in a skiing accident.
Yeah.
Michael Schumacher is not been walking. We all hope to see him at a race one day, obviously, right?
Absolutely.
Final thing, that pisses me off. Like, for real, that kind of shit pisses me off. But final thing, we talked in February, for anyone that's listening or has been listening. Thank you all.
Yes, thank you. Thanks.
The Lunar X Prize, the Google Lunar X Prize.
Yeah.
So the X Prize Foundation, sponsored by Google, if you missed that episode of our show, has offered up a $30 million bounty for any private entity that can get a small satellite vehicle. $30 million X Prize. Yeah.
That's higher than before.
Yeah, the original one, the first one was like $1 million.
Oh, $1 million.
The first ones. So this Lunar X Prize actually started in 2007. The deadline for entries was supposed to be 31st December this year. Mm-hmm. So basically a week from now. Today's the 23rd. What happened is yesterday the X Prize committee realized everyone's a bit behind on this. They're going to extend the prize deadline for entry 1 year. So like you had to actually register to enter the X Prize in 2008 sometime. The X Prize is for a private entity to get a small vehicle to the moon, and the idea is to have some sort of a mini race there.
Yes.
And basically opening up the frontiers for private space exploration.
Wicked.
But unfortunately for us and race fans and space fans, as long as one of the entrants, the caveat for the extension is one of the entrants has to present a launch schedule by December 31st this year.
Ooh.
For everybody else's entry to be extended to next year. Otherwise, the contest might be over. But anyone who likes the idea of the X Prize, check out the X Prize Foundation website. It's pretty badass. There's a couple of big prizes.
It's actually really cool.
And you can actually vote for, they're about to launch the next X Prize, which I think is going to be sponsored by TED, the TED Talks group. and they're taking votes right now for a couple of ideas. Anyways, no Lunar Grand Prix yet.
Yeah, no Moon Grand Prix, but maybe later.
Mars GP 2030 though. Let go for that. I'll be there.
Sweet. All right. I think that's the end of our show. Cheers, and happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever it is that you do.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Thanks for listening through the year. Hit subscribe. Visit us on flatoutfever.com. This was the Flat Out Fever podcast.
Oh, yes.
Bamboo. Listen to bamboo.com if you love Mike's music. Any Torontonians, January 8th, be at Lee's Palace. They're going to be playing live.
Right, yeah.
Hit us up on Twitter. Send us some comments on YouTube.
Anything you want. It's been a great year with you guys. We can't wait to keep doing this for another year or the foreseeable future.
We started this at the library on a whim, and it's obviously some people like it, and I think we're planning some bigger things for next year to
and in the coming weeks.
Expand the content. Yeah, in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
Next year's next week, right?
That's true.
Cheers.
All right, guys.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, Happy Holidays. Drink a beer.